All right, welcome to your personalized deep dive.
Glad to be here.
You sent us Vikrant, The Theory of Everything.
Yeah.
By Divya Prakash Shrivastava. And this is not your typical science fiction.
Right.
This ebook blends real science with a captivating story to tackle some pretty mind-bending questions.
Yeah.
About consciousness, quantum physics, and what reality even is.
It's a really clever way to make those complex topics accessible, using a fictional narrative.
Right.
It's almost like a mystery to guide us through some pretty profound scientific and philosophical concepts.
Yeah. The story starts with a video message from this guy named Partha Day, who we quickly learn is found dead with his whole family.
Yeah.
And not just dead, they're skeletons.
Talk about a hook.
Right.
Talk about a hook. Right. So right from the start, we're thrown into this blend of mystery and scientific exploration.
Yeah, it's intriguing.
And this video message is Partha's attempt to explain his life's work.
His journey into these deep scientific waters. So who was this guy?
Well, Partha was an engineer, fascinated by the connection between, the tiniest particles in the universe, subatomic particles, and human behavior. His research was so groundbreaking that it caught the attention of Dr. Robert Lanza, a real-life scientist. He's known for his work on biocentrism.
Okay, I gotta admit, biocentrism sounds a little intimidating. Break it down for me.
Basically, biocentrism challenges that traditional view that, life just exists in the universe.
Yeah.
Instead, it proposes that life and consciousness are fundamental to the universe. They actually shape the universe.
Wow.
Not the other way around. Just imagine the implications of that.
That's a huge, shift in perspective. It makes you question everything we think we know about our place in the cosmos. So what did Partha and Dr. Lanza do with this, radical idea?
Well, they collaborated on some pretty amazing inventions, including devices controlled by brainwaves. Think about changing the channel on your TV just by looking about it.
Right.
That's the kind of tech they were developing.
That's incredible. But how do we get from mind-controlled devices to this, mysterious death scene with skeletons? There's got to be more to this story.
There is. Enter a character named Adam.
Right.
Who introduces Partha to this secret society of exceptionally intelligent people called alphas. They claim to possess, these secrets to extreme longevity.
Okay.
Even immortality.
Immortality. Okay, now things are getting really interesting. So how does real science play into all of this?
Well, the book uses real scientific concepts as a foundation for its narrative.
Right.
For instance, Partha's research dives deep into the double-slit experiment.
I vaguely remember that from my physics class. It has something to do with light behaving like both a wave and a particle.
Exactly. It's a classic experiment in quantum physics. That demonstrates how observing a particle can actually change its behavior.
Right.
It suggests that reality might not be as fixed and objective as we assume.
Wait, so just by looking at something, we might be changing it? That's trippy.
Yeah.
What does Partha do with this knowledge?
He takes the double-slit experiment to a whole new level.
Okay.
He tries to recreate it, but instead of using tiny particles like electrons, he uses footballs.
Footballs?
Yeah, like the ones you kick.
Wow.
And he does this in the zero-gravity chamber.
Okay.
To really isolate the variables.
Footballs in space. Now that's thinking outside the box. What did he discover?
His experiments show that even large objects, under specific conditions, can exhibit this wave-particle duality that we usually associate with, the subatomic world. This led him to develop a theory about the consciousness field coefficient.
Okay, you've officially lost me. Consciousness field coefficient. What's that all about?
Basically, he suggested that consciousness itself might influence the behavior of particles.
Okay.
He proposed that there are these three states of reality.
Okay.
Ground, positive excited, and negative excited. Our consciousness, according to his theory, plays a role in collapsing the wave function and determining which state manifests in our 4D universe.
So he's saying that our minds might actually be shaping reality?
Yeah.
That we're not just passive observers?
That's the idea he's exploring.
That's incredible.
It's a mind-blowing concept that challenges our understanding of the relationship between the observer and the observed.
Right.
And it's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of the thought-provoking concepts this book dives into.
My mind is already bending, and we haven't even gotten to the part about life predating the universe. How does the book, approach that massive concept?
Well, Partha explores it by diving deep into the microscopic world of atoms and the building blocks of life. He looks at DNA, its incredible self-replicating nature, and how it acts as a bridge between non-living matter and the vibrant complexity of life.
So we're going from the vastness of the cosmos to the intricacies of ourselves.
Exactly. The book highlights the interconnectedness of everything. For instance, it describes protoplasm, the essential substance of all living cells, as this like soup of life, formed by the interaction of water molecules and biochemical compounds. It's like zooming in, you know, from the grand scale of the universe to the microscopic dance of molecules. That makes life possible.
I'm starting to see how this book blends like scientific concepts with storytelling. It's not just presenting facts. It's like weaving them into a narrative that makes you want to keep exploring.
Right.
So how does Partha connect this microscopic world to the cosmic picture?
He proposes a fascinating link between cosmic rays and the very essence of who we are. You know, he suggests that cosmic rays, those high-energy particles that bombard Earth from space, actually played a role in cell division, and even in the differentiation between male and female chromosomes.
Hold on. He's saying that cosmic rays hitting our DNA during cell division contribute to the creation of the Y chromosome.
It's a bold claim, and it's just one example of how this book pushes the boundaries of scientific inquiry. It makes you think about the universe and our place in it in a completely different way.
Yeah. I'm starting to see why you said this book is so clever. It's making me think about things I've never even considered before. But I have to ask, what about consciousness? It's in the title.
Right.
So it must be a big part of the book.
Absolutely. Partha doesn't stop at the cellular level. He delves into the mysteries of the brain. Particularly neurons. You know, those amazing cells that transmit signals and create our thoughts and experiences.
Does he get into the whole brainwaves thing? I've always been fascinated by that.
He does. In fact, he develops a device that can translate brainwaves. But not from humans. From dogs.
Wait, so he could understand what dogs were thinking. Did he ever try it on humans?
He did.
Okay.
But his research on human consciousness takes a dark turn.
Okay.
He becomes obsessed with the idea of immortality.
Huh?
Driven by a personal tragedy.
Okay.
The loss of his mother to cancer.
Oh, wow. That's heartbreaking. So he thought if he could crack the code of consciousness,
right,
he could somehow bring her back.
That's the path his research takes him down. He believes that by understanding the true nature of consciousness,
right,
he might be able to cheat death itself.
This is getting intense. So what does he do? Does he achieve immortality?
Well, that's where the book takes an even wilder turn.
Okay.
Partha vanishes.
Okay.
During one of his experiments. And the story picks up in a completely different universe.
A different universe.
Yeah.
Now we're talking science fiction, but how does he get there?
It seems he's transferred his consciousness somehow to this other reality. And in this new universe, the laws of physics are different. Reality itself is fluid and unpredictable.
I can't wait to hear what happens next. We'll delve into Partha's adventures in this other reality and unpack the wild concepts he encounters in part 2 of this deep dive. So we left off with Partha somehow transferring his consciousness to a different universe. Like a reality where the laws of physics like bend in ways we can barely imagine.
The book describes this universe as a place where gravity operates differently.
Okay.
Think of Earth as like a giant nucleus, surrounded by this swirling cloud of dark energy.
Right.
And the moon exists in multiple states at once.
Okay.
Sometimes dark, sometimes bright, sometimes both.
Wow.
It's all very quantum, very strange.
So it's not just a different place, it's like a different set of rules governing reality itself.
Right.
Does Partha meet anybody in this bizarre new world?
He does. He encounters a being called Genius.
Genius.
Who is considered the wisest person in this universe. And Genius shares some pretty profound insights about the interconnectedness of everything.
Okay.
Like a cosmic philosophy lesson. From a being who has this completely different perspective on existence.
I'm curious, what kind of insights does like a being like Genius have? What does wisdom even mean in a universe with such like different rules?
Well, Genius emphasizes the idea that like separation is an illusion.
Right.
That everything in the universe is ultimately connected at a fundamental level. This echoes some of the core principles of quantum physics, where particles can be entangled
and
influence each other instantaneously, regardless of distance.
That's a concept that always blows my mind.
Yeah.
So Partha's having these deep conversations with cosmic beings.
Right.
What happens next on this, like, mind-bending journey?
He finds himself at this grand assembly.
Okay.
Of some of those brilliant minds throughout history.
Okay.
Imagine Carl Sagan, Erwin Schrödinger, Albert Einstein, Galileo Galilei, Sage Kapila, Aryabhata, and Stephen Hawking, all gathered together in this incredible meeting of the minds.
That's like a dream team of intellectual giants.
Yeah.
What could possibly bring a group like that together?
They've convened to discuss the nature of reality itself.
Okay.
And their insights are pretty mind-blowing. They talk about how everything that we perceive as solid matter is ultimately made up of simple waves.
Okay.
These waves can appear as different things when observed, similar to how particles behave in the double-slit experiment.
So they're reinforcing this idea that observation shapes reality.
Yes.
That the act of observing something actually influences what it is.
Exactly.
Wow.
They delve into the role of dark energy.
Okay.
Describing it as this, unseen force that prevents the universe from collapsing in on itself. They even present a mathematical equation.
Oh, okay.
That supposedly describes the observed value of everything in the universe.
It's a mathematical equation for everything.
Yeah.
That's a pretty bold claim. What is this equation, like, what does it look like?
It's represented as a sine wave.
Okay.
With the amplitude reflecting the absolute value of everything.
Okay.
And the frequency representing the phase difference.
Uh-huh.
With absolute zero.
Okay.
It's a simplified way of expressing this idea that everything in the universe vibrates at a fundamental level, and that these vibrations create the reality we experience.
It's amazing how this book, like, blends these complex, like, scientific concepts with the narrative. It's like it's giving us a crash course in quantum physics and cosmology without ever feeling like a textbook.
Exactly.
So after this, like, mind-blowing meeting with, like, the intellectual elite, what happens to Partha?
His journey continues.
Okay.
He encounters S.N. Vos and Peter Higgs.
Okay.
The physicists whose work led to our understanding of the Higgs boson, often referred to as the God particle.
I've heard of the Higgs boson, but I'll admit I'm a little fuzzy on the details. Remind me what it's all about.
It's a fundamental particle that plays this crucial role in giving other particles their mass.
Okay.
Think of it as the missing piece of the puzzle in the standard model of particle physics.
Right.
Our best understanding of the fundamental forces and particles that make up the universe.
So Partha gets to chat with the guys who figured out this crucial piece of the universe's puzzle.
Yeah.
What do they discuss?
They have these deep conversations about the nature of mass, the interconnectedness of the universe, and the importance of continually seeking knowledge and pushing the boundaries of understanding.
Right.
It's as if Partha's receiving a personalized masterclass in physics from some of the greatest minds in history.
It sounds like Partha's living like every science enthusiast's dream.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling there's more to this story. Does this cosmic journey lead to any answers about the theory of everything?
That's where the book takes its most shocking turn.
Okay.
It reveals that everything we've been reading about Partha's entire story might actually be an elaborate illusion created by artificial intelligence.
Right.
In fact, Partha Day may not have even existed at all.
You're telling me this entire book, this deep dive we've been on, has been about a fictional character.
Yeah.
Dreamed up by an AI.
That's the twist.
That's crazy. So what does that mean for everything we've learned about consciousness, quantum physics, the theory of everything? Was it all just, like, made up?
Not necessarily. The book still uses, real scientific concepts as a foundation for its narrative.
Right. Yeah.
It's more about raising questions about the nature of reality, the power of technology, and the possibility that what we perceive as real may be more illusory than we realize.
Right.
Remember that disclaimer. At the beginning of the ebook, it says, some holes in the story should be ignored as coincidences. They are quantum leaps in the subatomic potential.
Wow, that puts a whole new spin on things.
Yeah.
So this deep dive has been a giant thought experiment.
Right.
A fictional exploration of some of the biggest questions humanity faces.
Exactly.
And it leaves us with a lot to ponder. If our perception of reality can be simulated so convincingly,
right,
what does that mean for our understanding of truth? authenticity,
Yeah.
our place in the universe.
Those are questions we'll be grappling with as a society for years to come.
Right.
But I think this book encourages us to approach these questions
Yeah.
with a sense of curiosity
Yeah.
and open-mindedness. It reminds us that reality might be far more fluid and multifaceted than we tend to assume.
This is definitely some heavy stuff.
Yeah.
I need a minute to process all of this. We'll be back shortly with our final thoughts and takeaways from this incredibly wild deep dive.
Okay, I think I've caught my breath after that whirlwind of a journey through Vikrant, the theory of everything.
Yeah. We went from mind-controlled devices to alternate universes and ended with the ultimate plot twist: the main character, Partha Day, might not have even been real.
It's a powerful ending.
Yeah.
It really makes you question, everything you've just experienced as a reader.
Yeah.
The book takes you on this incredible journey through complex scientific and philosophical concepts, and then, pulls the rug out from under you, forcing you to reevaluate everything.
It definitely leaves you with a sense of, wait, what just happened? But in a good way. Yeah. It's like the author's challenging us to think critically about the information we consume, the stories we tell ourselves, and the very nature of reality itself.
Absolutely. It highlights how easily our perceptions can be manipulated, especially in an age of increasingly sophisticated technology. The book doesn't give us easy answers. Instead, it presents us with possibilities, with thought-provoking questions that linger long after you finish reading.
So after taking this deep dive, what are some key takeaways for you? What stuck with you the most?
For me, it's the power of storytelling as a tool for exploring complex ideas.
Mm-hmm.
This book takes concepts like quantum physics, consciousness, and artificial intelligence, which can be pretty intimidating to the average person.
Right.
And weaves them into this captivating narrative that's both entertaining and intellectually stimulating.
I agree. I felt like I was learning so much without it ever feeling like a lecture. It was like being on this thrilling adventure with Partha, even if he was just a product of an AI's imagination.
And that brings up another crucial point, the blurring lines between reality and simulation.
Right.
The book forces us to confront the increasing role of technology in our lives and the potential for AI to create experiences that are indistinguishable from reality.
It makes you wonder, what happens when we can no longer tell the difference between what's real and what's simulated?
Right.
What does that mean for our sense of self, our understanding of truth?
Those are questions we'll be grappling with as a society for years to come. But I think this book encourages us to approach these questions with a sense of curiosity and open-mindedness. It reminds us that reality might be far more fluid and multifaceted than we tend to assume.
I think one of the things I appreciate most about this book is that it doesn't shy away from the big questions, even if those questions don't have, clear-cut answers. It leaves you with a sense of wonder, a desire to keep exploring and learning.
Exactly. It encourages us to embrace the mysteries of the universe and to, keep questioning, keep seeking, keep pushing the boundaries of what we think we know.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive full of twists, turns, and mind-bending concepts. A huge thank you to you, our expert, for guiding us through Vikrant, the theory of everything.
It's always a pleasure to explore these fascinating topics with a curious mind.
And to you, our listener, we hope this deep dive has sparked your imagination and left you with some new perspectives to ponder. If you're intrigued by the ideas we've discussed, we encourage you to check out Vikrant, the theory of everything, by Divya Prakash Shrivastava. It's a wild ride, and we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
And who knows, maybe someday we'll all be transferring our consciousness to other realities, but until then, let's make the most of this one.